The collector started with pennies. Or seashells. He could no longer recall. The seashells, indifferent and pre-cultural, washed out of circulation on the shore. No two were alike, as with fingerprints or snowflakes. Yet they conformed to hierarchies of scarcity and value, made a subject for catalogues and lists. But these were also skulls, an assembly of carapaces, opened a first doorway into the morbidity of his love. A penny was not so much money as the DNA of money. Spotting the year and tiny signature under Elizabeth's decapitated neck was the first act of reading the secret inscriptions that underwrote the universe. A child's garden of conspiracy. Putting Elizabeth's head upright in orderly rows was something to do. A sport for bleary afternoons. The shells were more troubling, harder to quantify. Crumbs, evidence of dissolution, of the shell's complicity with stardust.
Is there much more of this?
Almost done.
One day, while helping his uncle move his personal belongings from one flat to the next, he unearthed a hideous decorative clock from Florida. Several valuable specimens of shell possibly ruined with clumps of glue and glitter. Shells grew, he understood now. They were clocks themselves. They also stank, delivering up not only sounds but odors from elsewhere. He began to associate them with the curls of green, calcified snot he'd accidentally archived beneath his desk. One day his mother offered him the flood of crappy pennies wedged in drawers and overrunning jars everywhere. He capitulated, quit examining the coins for their pedigree, quit yanking them from circulation. They had their pitiful denomination after all. These were his first two ruined collections, early maps of shame. He plunged into the world of football cards, wondering if he was doomed to collect everything in existence. The flashy cards revealed too much, bright emblems, team trademarks smeared everywhere and disguising nothing, the pitiful, needy eyes of dying veterans and no-hope novices. Fake smiles to mortify your glance. The cards were for statistical study. No. For protecting in laminated folders. No, they were only a product, a scam. The Asian shop owner, annoyed that the child did not figure it out sooner and just get his dad to buy the whole carton on one visit instead of slouching around the joint bugging him for weeks. In the end, he wrecked the whole relationship in one resentful, shattering act. A spasm of appropriation and collage involving toy scissors and a bottle of glue. Ground zero for all collections, it seemed, was the glue bottle, the lumps of pearly, translucent white that held the swirling chaos of the world in place. The gluing impulse was especially treacherous when it came to stamp collecting.
God, that's an ugly thing. Should I find somewhere for it, though? So your mother tells me you like collecting things? You're like me.
Don't encourage him.
Enjoy.
Another precise history to duplicate. In 2 years of solid work, he'd never catch up with the backlog of stamps to soak or steam off envelopes. The ideal stamp had nothing to do with this bogus labour, but was clean of postmark, never licked, perhaps even in an intact block of 4. Yet faced with a pristine stamp and its appointed place in an album, a date with destiny, how to keep from just licking the thing and pressing it into place? On a humid day, they licked themselves, self-ruining. So why lose the chance? 30-year-old stamp glue had the titillating savour of an old wine uncorked. Maybe the only thing you collected, after all, was glue itself. Drugs and music made another set of twins. Each were like seashells or stardust you took into your body. Living in the city, locked in pavement to the sea, the drugs and the music were his first chance to import nature beyond his own boundaries. They made tidy analogues for sex or the forest, possibly more satisfying than any wider exploration would ever be, certainly safer. First you saw a band, absorbed the essence of live moments which, like drug fumes, evaporated into your organs, leaving no evidence apart from your altered sense of self. Then you collected their albums, all the B-sides and rarities. In drugs, he dabbled, a ready tourist, stopping nowhere but gathering sample flavours like stamps in a passport. Quaalude, mescaline, Amsterdam hash. His music collection, on the other hand, was a plummet into addiction. He'd boarded a carousel of pure and infinite dissatisfaction. He rarely listened to a song in its entirety, perpetually upping the dose with a junkie's agitation. The connoisseur soon learned every song had versions which raised the stakes. The first time he put blotter acid on his tongue, he thought about his football card collection. He thought, I had so many different players, but they were all me. The whole team. Keeper, defender, midfielder, striker. Even the manager up in arms inside the dugout. Hey, what's he trying to say to me? If I'm him, why don't I understand the signals? If I am my own collection, why am I scattered outside of my body? If that's my favourite band, why don't I enjoy any of their albums? Somebody started a band. 3 guys, a girl in a basement space, a sea of amplifier wires and a concrete zone cleared in the clutter of abandoned family stuff. Including, you couldn't help notice, a pile of rotting stamp albums. Lurching, herky-jerky song openings with no firm conclusion in mind, except perhaps the ongoing argument certain to escalate to band breakup level sooner or later, which would easily enough solve the problem of how to end the song. Somebody else renovated a 2-storey house in Spitalfields to make an indoor marijuana factory.
No, I don't. This is just, no, this is not on. Okay, just.
No. Yeah.
I'm not doing.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Go on. Do that.
One day he drove down to Devon, high on mushrooms and music. At that moment, he realized that everything he loved most was a seashell. Maybe it was time to get out of the city. Now he was a bird watcher. He enumerated them in his book, a reverse peeping Tom. Sparrow, wren, cardinal, crow. Not all birds were birds, he felt. Category errors nagged his psyche. He wanted a division between water and sky. He hadn't glued anything in years. Poison was the new glue.
So what do you think of my collection then?
You have one message. Message 1.
Hi, son. It's your mum. I've got some bad news. Your uncle. He passed away last night. I was wondering if you could come down and help me pack up his things. I just can't bring myself to go back there.
He wondered if all the cigarettes in circulation resembled pennies, whether their point of origin and date of issue could be ascertained by examining microscopic serial number imprints. He began to consider the possibility of a cigarette collection mounted into embossed cardboard holders, as with his lost penny collection. Such a collection would, of course, be destined, like all others, for failure. The truth was, he needed to quit smoking, clean the house, scoop up the pennies everywhere. He would be okay, though. The universe was the glue that held him together.